18th of April 2022, so it's just after 3 p.m. This is part 3 of the video. You need to film in parts. This is the road along from the Loch of Skene. It is a road along from the Loch of Skene. That man turned in his car. He chased after me, pursued me. Why did he do that? Because I filmed his sign that was faded. I didn't film people shouldn't chase after others. You don't pursue people. It's not nice. And this is certainly worth filming, because look, when you venture along the road, if you look back at the Loch of Skene, you can see there is damage. And that damage could go near properties at another time when more trees fall down, if the environmental destruction is not cleaned up. There's damage here. The tree is down. No one's addressing it. Storm Arwen occurred 5 months ago on the 26th of November 2021. Has that man at the Croft House reported this environmental destruction that's on his doorstep to Aberdeenshire Council? That's the question. If he hasn't reported it, why not? He's aware of it. As you just saw, he stopped his car in this road to try and frighten me, intimidate me. But he just said, he didn't try and intimidate me, he just said he didn't mean to frighten me. So if he didn't mean to frighten me, why did he pursue me? His actions are different to what he actually said. You don't pursue people in a car. He wound down his window and spoke to me. I'm repeating his words. I've got his number plate. The police can trace it if they've got the resources. But you can't upload videos to the Police Scotland website. Not yet, anyway. That's the big barrier to bringing people to justice for instances where people are frightened, such as young women walking in the dark. But video is no use in the dark. So we need to advance technology. These are all pertinent issues and very real. Look at the damage here. Is Aberdeenshire Council aware of it? And why hasn't that man at the Croft House with his C missing, that hasn't even bothered to renew his sign, paint it clearly for the postal service? I mean, they must have an immensely difficult task. Royal Mail, they deliver everywhere. So there's pressure on households to make sure that signs at their property are legible. These are all issues. That man had no right to chase after me. This is justification in video. And you can now email the Procurator Fiscal. It's easier to contact the Procurator Fiscal than the police. They have an inquiry email address, the Procurator Fiscal. Solicitors are all highly paid and intelligent. They earn lots of money. And they've got multiple email addresses. You can't email the police. The police chase after people, but they don't document what happens. They don't shoot video unless they've got a gun. Only armed officers have in Scotland. Only armed officers have body cams. They wear body cams because the police, in their consultation last year, during 2021, decided they don't want to use video. And also, on the Police Scotland website, there's information that says the police have to tell people when they're using video. So I guess if the police try to bring you to justice using a video with black borders, it means they've been filming using covert surveillance, which is inadmissible in a court of law, in a Scottish court of law. These are all issues facing the police, the Procurator Fiscal, and also the Scottish Court Service through judges and bringing people to justice. These issues need to be considered against the backdrop of the natural world. The police are not many of them use bikes. They might enjoy it for leisure time, but they're not doing this. Look at the trees. Look at the tree. That tree falling half down is by this road, this quiet road where bikes come along. And also cars come along it with wagons. Cars with wagons with environmental waste on the back of it. I mean, maybe people are cleaning up the waste, the environmental waste, but not at this site. That man from the Croft House did say around 3 p.m. on the 18th of April 2022 that he didn't mean to frighten me. But he chased after me in his car when I was on a bike. That's an offence, or it should be. Because that's hunting someone down. He saw I was armed with video, filming trees. So he drove off, turned and returned home. Why didn't he take me on? I was scared when he then turned his car, parking here, coming towards me. I was on a bike. He was in his car. He was coming towards me after he had a confrontation. You need to speak your fears aloud. What he's done is a criminal offence. And you can't upload video to the Police Scotland website. So you need to proceed with prosecution, bypassing the police. Contact the Procurator Fiscal and the Scottish Ministers. Scottish.ministers@gov.scot. Uploading unlisted videos to YouTube in the benefit of public safety. Around 3 p.m. on the 18th of April 2022, that man at the Croft House where the sea is missing started walking towards me to say what's going on. I did not see there was someone in the garden. But when I looked round, I saw him. This is the issues you face when you shoot video in the Aberdeenshire countryside. And I think he's coming with his car. Cars have number plates. Is this him?
Hey buddy. I didn't mean to scare you off or anything earlier on. I was just wanting to chat. But... Honestly, you okay?
That man said that he said he doesn't want to scare me and have a nice day. But why has he decided to get in his car and pursue me? Chase me down? This is the Croft House man. And look, there's another car. A witness. to the intimidation. The witness probably doesn't notice. This is what happens in the countryside. This is the countryside in Aberdeenshire. This is the 18th of April 2022, alongside the Loch of Skene, where sheep also graze. It's a quiet road. That's why bikes come along it. Daffodils growing at the side of the road. Sheep having a good time. I mean, long ago, go back 50 years, and video was in black and white. So people need to talk and say, look at that grass, it's really green. This is where lush green pastures have come from. I mean, people had to talk on video in original broadcasting because it was in black and white. But now we have colour. Full colour and glory. As the stream trickles through the countryside. The countryside on the edge of the Loch of Skene. Cyclists coming. They can't hear me. This is a good road for cycling on. It's quiet. Few cars come along it. And actually this road leads to, there's a turn off to the right further along, and it leads to Gregi Bridge by Dunecht. Gregi Bridge by Dunecht. Some place names can be quite difficult to say. I mean, the people that gave places their names weren't really thinking for the future or thinking ahead. Because talking on video makes it easier to preserve the natural landscape and places. The road does lead, there's a turn off to the right, and it's a really long road. It leads along to Craigie Darg Bridge near Dunecht. But if you don't turn off and you keep going, and keep going further along, veering off to the right, and then go up a private road, there's Policyloch, where there's a house worth, it was on the market last year in 2021 for £1 million near Dunecht, and it's at the site of Policyloch. And when you keep filming video, you see sheep running. This is real life. But maybe me talking on video is frightening the sheep, but I don't think so. Sheep do run. And anyway, they only just started running. You see things when you keep shooting video. And that house that was on the market for £1 million had expansive grounds and a golf course. it was marked as a private road, but the road was actually a through road. It wasn't really private. There's lots of private roads, but they're safe for cycling. This is the issue. And people don't like ramblers on their land. It creates conflict. Conflict in Aberdeenshire. Rural Aberdeenshire, which has about 1,000 roads in a disused state of disrepair. About 1,000 that all need maintenance. So said the Press and Journal last year, 2021. The sheep are running again. They started running. They have been moving slower. Don't ever stop. This is sheep. This road, alongside the Loch of Skene, is, in actual fact, well tarred. You can see daffodils growing in spring. They have sprung, in a word. On the 18th of April 2022. Signs do pinpoint your location. This is Leadside Croft House, but signs also fade, and as you can see, the C on the croft is missing. So signage, new signs do need to be printed. This is Anderson Wood Part 2 on the 16th of April 2022. Anderson Wood. This is Anderson Wood. Look all around. Let's just survey the environmental destruction by Hazelhead Golf Course, the Mackenzie Championship course, on the 16th of April 2022. We're on the move again after having lifted our bike over a fallen tree branch. You saw the tree in the last video. Now this is a series of videos navigating Anderson Wood. This is a sequel, part 2, Anderson Wood by Hazelhead Golf Course. People are walking and going over fallen trees. It's easier walking when you're not on a bike. Bikes make it more challenging. You need to lift them. But still, you can go places, you can travel further and go places where cars cannot reach. They're flexible, agile, you can cross roads quickly, get out of trouble, cross roads quickly in the face of real and present danger, fast, fleeting traffic. This is the bottom line. And this is the Mackenzie Championship course at Hazelhead, with Golfers, no less. Golfing in the mist and the fog on a spring day in the northeast of Scotland. This is real life. And yet, fake videos do pop up. But you can't really replicate real life. It's difficult. Replicating the natural world, natural video shooting. But technology is advancing. Deepfake videos are here. The Queen was broadcast on Channel 4 at Christmas time, but that wasn't her usual Christmas message. It wasn't the Queen. The Queen broadcast on the BBC, the respectable Great British broadcasting station that broadcasts all over the world. This is Anderson Wood. And this part of the wood, there's little destruction as we approach Groats Road. Getting closer to it, but we're still not at it. I think I'm heading for Groats Road. It's certainly the right general direction. Video on a bike, handheld cameras produce better quality. And actually, you're better to tell people you're shooting video because they behave differently. If you tell them you're shooting video, they're more likely to respect you. This is an issue, but if you don't tell them, you see natural behaviour. What really happens? What really happens in real life? This is the difference. Real life versus respect. The difference with respect is when you shoot video and people know about it, they might be more likely to help you. Or not, as the case is. It depends on the nature of the use of video. For example, if you are in a public place, it's safer to use video because there's lots of people around, witnesses, to ensure everyone stays on their best behaviour. But in more closed environments, such as hospitals, where sometimes there's no CCTV, one camera at the Royal Cornhill Hospital in June 2021, that was according to a NHS Grampian Freedom of Information response. That is not really good enough. Because most nurses do go into the profession to care, and most care a great deal. They're entitled to their salary. But at the same time, you don't know who's going to be victims of abuse. And abuse does happen in all walks of life, from all professions. That's part and parcel of life, real life. And let's just be clear. The Police Act 1997, Section 92, says that interference with wireless telegraphy is unlawful. It's against the law. So, in actual fact, it's been against the law since 1997. So, digital devices need to be kept with patients in hospitals and prisoners in prison, in Scottish prisons. This is the evolving nature of evolution. Humans invented technology. It's evolved. Politicians have laid down laws, but the laws are not being respected. This is the notion of respect. Start off respecting the planet. It's fragile. You can see the devastation in Anderson Wood. No devastation at this particular point in time. The birds are singing. Birds depend on trees. Trees have been coming down with several storms in the winter of 2021 to 2022 in the northeast of Scotland. There was Storm Arwen, Storm Barra, Storm Eunice, which brought snow to West Hill and Aberdeenshire for a day or so. Let's just be clear. There have been several storms. It's a real challenge to reel them all off and remember them all off the top of your head. But there was also Storm Corrie. I've remembered 4 of them. I'm doing well. But I mean, we're all getting older, and dementia is an increasing problem. This is the crematorium, and the tree has gone that was blocking the path since I notified Aberdeen City Council and Scottish ministers. I referred to the crematorium and the baby ashes scandal, notifying the whole council and Scottish ministers. The baby ashes scandal, which rocked the city council, where SNP politicians lied to a judge, as documented by the media. This is fact. Fact, everyone. And here's the crematorium. This is real life. It happened in 2014. And at that time, there was a separate incinerator for babies, which went unused, as my father, who was a surveyor and did work on the crematorium, knew about. He didn't want to get involved. He had a good relationship with Aberdeen City Council, and a representative from the council attended his funeral. That says a lot about him. But he didn't want to get involved in the politics of the situation and have reprisals and affect his business and reputation. People have reputations to think about. Businesses, bottom lines, and this stops them from being critical, too critical of politicians and interfering. But the natural world is precious, and Aberdeen City Council have removed the fallen tree that was blocking this path between Hazelhead and the Mackenzie Championship course just a few weeks ago, linking over to the crematorium, Aberdeen Crematorium. They've removed that one. So you can make progress. You can influence politicians to clean up the natural world. This is the evidence. Clear evidence. This is the crematorium. I could continue along this path to Groats Road, but actually the path gets blocked. It's tricky. The path past the crematorium and heading to King's Wells is actually clear on the 16th of April 2022 because I navigated it recently. I know that. This is first-hand experience, first-hand local knowledge. Google Street View cars don't come here through Anderson Wood. Denwood is located by Countess Wells Road. Just to be clear, navigating a path going through Anderson Wood is tricky to preserve good quality video footage using a handheld camera, walking on a bike, movement, motion, engaging video with a narrative. No, Sir David Attenborough does not do this, but he visits Antarctica, places few people visit, but actually there's lots of people that work in Antarctica, surrounded by penguins, studying the landscape. People do visit Antarctica. They're based there. And they've been based there for a long time. Almost 100 years. Ever since Ernest Shackleton explored it. This is history, real life, the natural world at Anderson Wood, Hazelhead on the 16th of April 2022. People like to walk through the woods. A walk in the woods that are destroyed at Aberdeen Crematorium. 16th of April 2022. Continuing along the path through Anderson Wood. You know, actually, handheld cameras present better quality video footage rather than novel cameras where you wear cameras, such as glasses with video or body cams, I imagine. I mean, there's a degradation in quality. You're better with quality. To get quality, you're better with handheld cameras. Modern smartphones do work. That's what produces better quality. And video is always more engaging with motion. So you need image stabilization. You can create the impression of a stable video if you go along slowly on a bike. Move slowly, hold the camera, but I'm not actually pedaling. I've got my feet on the ground. You don't want to go too fast anyway, because if you go slower, you capture better quality video. Immersive video that's engaging with a narrative to engage the audience. You don't see Sir David Attenborough going around on bikes, but bikes enable people to get closer to green spaces, parks, golf courses, witness the environmental destruction firsthand. Bikes go places cars cannot. With video, with talking, providing a narrative, you can explain your location. This is Anderson Wood, 16th of April 2022, in spring. And this is really the carnage, the environmental destruction which Aberdeen City Council have failed to clear up at this precise moment in time when Storm Arwen wreaked havoc on the 26th of November 2021. Successive several storms. The police went door to door to check on people who were vulnerable, spearheaded by the police commander at Nig Police Station in the south of Aberdeen. This is what the police do. They don't just arrest people, they help people too, just to be clear. And they must face many demands. Being good is always important. Just look around. Look at the destruction, the scale of the damage in Anderson Wood by the Mackenzie Championship course at Hazelhead on the 16th of April 2022. You can see the future is environmental services. When you get catastrophic weather, changing patterns in the climate, there's always going to be fierce resistance to better, more environmentally friendly forms of living. There'll be fierce resistance. But just look at the damage firsthand This is why young people are getting in a rage, campaigning. This is what has triggered and sparked it all off. Environmental destruction. And what do people do? They play golf. And they ignore the problem. They think it's someone else's problem. Well, it is someone else's problem. The problem is the responsibility of Aberdeen City Council. This is Hazelhead. Hazelhead. Anderson Wood. There's two woods at Hazelhead. There's Denwood near Countess Wells Road. But Anderson Wood leads to Groats Road if the path is not blocked. But from the path you can also visit Aberdeen Crematorium. But that path had a fallen tree recently. Paths in woodland areas are becoming blocked. This is what's causing alarm and distress to young people and making them do protests. The older people, the workers, well, they play golf and sip whiskey after golf at the 19th hole at the clubhouse by Hazelhead Park. Yes, you can see the paths blocked. When paths are blocked, you need to retreat. This is the problem for the future, the challenges. This is why Aberdeen City Council do need to invest in environmental services. It's not good, that tree there.